the your memory to be able to recall the dreams, I mean, even today, I mean, it's remarkable. I have trouble remembering a dream the next morning. You remember it, 40, 50 years ago.
Yes, I do.
And then obviously you have the same kind of memory for reading lines and acting as well. Is that something you practice?
Yeah, memorizing lines is a different technique. I mean, I just go over a script over and over and over. And, I learn my part cold, in fact. I just learn the text. And by doing that, images of the part come to my imagination, and I find ways of playing the character I'm going to play. But being a director is a different thing, because that's a much broader. You have to take in a much wider vision. Being an actor tends to be a little tunnel vision, concentrating on your own stuff. Being a painter, even on an amateur level that I paint, is a feeling of glorious solitude, of just splashing colour and discovering colours as they come out of the page. I painted all of these are painted on photographic paper with ink. And I never know how it's going to. I can't plan them. I paint the sky, I paint the landscape, and I always start with the sky, and I paint the landscape, and then the colours just kind of discover themselves. So I don't really control it. I suddenly draw these. I don't know if there's some trees there. I draw these trees behind you. I've got you. Suddenly I push these trees up with the brushes, and they take their own shape. They take a dream-like aspect.
Right, but it's astonishing that you can actually recall some of these from your childhood. And the shape of the trees, the feel of the trees, the look of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And some of them are unpleasant dreams. When you're a child, you have what they call cheese dreams. If you eat cheese before you go to sleep, that's what my mum used to say. Eat cheese, you'll dream vividly. I dream of blue trees and red trees and strange plants coming out of the ground, strange creatures, worm-like creatures, all part of the subconscious mind.
So do you write your dreams down the next morning, or do you draw the next morning?
No, but I write poetry, and I write all kinds of stuff which relate to dreams, and this is what this book is going to be about when it comes out at the end of the year, about my life, my experience. I suppose I'm cursed or blessed with a very clear memory, and I think as we all get older, we remember more of our past than ever before. The long-term memory becomes more powerful. Short-term memory, I'm beginning to forget names sometimes.
Yes. Do you see yourself becoming more of an artist than an actor in the next stage of your life?
Well, I don't know. My wife is convinced that I'm going to go on until I'm 106, and I'm going to... she's got some fantasies that I'm going to go on until I'm hundreds of years old. What is good about it is that I found a whole new way of expressing myself, not for any serious intent, but for sheer pleasure. And there's one brief anecdote. I don't know if we have time. You can always edit it in. But my wife Stella, she's in my phone, by the way. She read a piece from a magazine and typed it out for me. There was a woman artist in New York in the 1920s, and she always complained because her husband always put her down, and he was a very clever artist. He's quite famous. I didn't know who he was. A psychiatrist friend wrote to her, or an old counsellor, a friend of hers, an older man, a wise man, said, "Stop grumbling and mumbling and analysing and thinking and looking over your shoulder. Paint badly. Do the worst painting you've ever thought. Just do it for fun." Right. And stop pondering these great questions. She started painting she tried to paint the worst painting. She became a great sculptor.
Oh, okay.
So once
letting
you break
herself
through
go.
it, yeah, who cares?
I was reading, it was a great story that occurred in your life that I'd appreciate if you could retell regarding a book by Pfeiffer.
Yes. How did that come up?
Oh, I just read it and doing some research. It was an amazing coincidence.
Yes, it's dealing with synchronicity. I was in a movie with Goldie Hawn. It was called Girl from Petrovka. It was 1973. And George Pfeiffer was the man who wrote it. Anyway, we were rehearsing in London and we had a script. And I was interested in getting the book. I knew there was one published, but I couldn't find it in an English bookshop. And this author happened to be there in London. He said, "I've got a book. I'll bring it in for you tomorrow. I can get it for you." I said, "Oh, okay." Of his own book. And he said, next day he said, I can't find it. He said, I've forgotten. I loaned it to a friend. I can't remember the story, but I gave it to somebody else, and they've lost it, and I can't give it to you. I said, oh, okay. I was going on the tube station, what you call them in New York?
The subway.
Subway. Same thing in London. Tube train, they call it. I was in Sloane's Station, and there was a package on the seat, on the bench. The train had just gone out, the station platform was empty. There's a package on the bench, and I thought that's a suspicious looking thing. There was a book in it, brown paper bag, with W.H. Smith. I didn't know what it was a paper bag. I pulled out this book. There was The Girl from Petrofka.
Which you hadn't been able to find in any of the bookstores.
Schaefer's, It was George Pfeiffer's book with his pen marks in it.
Or the notations, his personal.
She'd given it, which was left on the station. I thought I was on candid camera. I thought, this is so and lots of things have happened like that, synchronistically.
So did you end up giving him back, returning the book to him?
I think I did.
It's an amazing coincidence.
I told him about it, and he sold the article or wrote an essay about it. It ended up in the magazine many years later. I'll tell you another coincidence regarding that. I was in Mexico City doing a film, and I came. They had a bookstore there, in the hotel, and detective novels and all that kind of thing. And I was looking for a book to read, and there was one on the cover called Synchronicity, and I pulled it out. Synchronicity so I opened it up, and my name popped out of the page regarding that very story. So that was very, very strange.
What kind of books do you like to read?
Well, I like to read some science fiction. I read biographies, novels. I'm quite interested in psychology and that kind of philosophy, magical thing, Jungian psychology, all that sort of. It's all very informative stuff.
So life is all a dream within a dream.
Dream within a dream.
So what happens?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah. So what happens at the end?
I think it's all, maybe at the end we just think, I see, that's what it was about.
Well, we hope that happens.
When you wake up from a dream or you have a dream, you think, I see. And I think occasionally, nearly through life, we get those moments of the Zen Buddhists call it the experience. Got it.
You have a movie coming out this week. Fracture.
Ryan Gosling.
You want to again play a villain?
Yeah, but I play a pretty bad guy.
A bad guy? Well, you've played a bad guy before.
Yeah, this is my second bad guy.
Which one is worse?
I don't know. They were just movies, just fictions. I played a lot of other parts besides that.
Yeah, I know that. But
this one is a lot of fun. This one is a good actor, Ryan Gosling, this new young actor. And so I'm with him in it.
Talking about playing bad guys, I know you play good guys as well, and you've played just so many guys from Charles Dickens, John Frost, Adolf Hitler, David George, Nixon.
You mean the historical ones?
Othello, Picasso. We talked about Quasimodo, Yitzhak Rabin, Zorro, but you seem to like Burt Munro.
Oh yeah, the desert guy, the
Indian
motorbike guy.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
What was it about that character you liked?
Well, Roger Donaldson, the director, knew him, wrote the script, showed me a documentary. He said, "Would you like to play him?" I said, "Yeah, okay." So he gave me the script, and I read it, and he raised the money on it, and we filmed it about two or 3 years ago in Utah and in New Zealand. That was fun to play.
You know how sometimes you see yourself in an old film or show, and you look back and you say, "Oh, I can't believe I did that," or does that ever happen in art? When you paint something and then you look back and say, "Oh, why did I do that?"
Well, yeah, I don't look back. I don't look back. I tend to throw stuff out, and Stella, my wife, she tends to grab it out of the trash bin and reshape it and frame it or something like that. She's thrown nothing away. No, I don't look back.
So now, artist, author, actor, musician, right? Yeah. Pianist, played piano.
Yeah.
Right. Sing.
Can't sing.
Can't sing. Compose music.
Compose music. Yeah.
Direct.
Direct.
Anything else that you'd like to do that you haven't done?
No, I've no desire to do ballroom dancing.
No ballroom dancing, right? No gymnastics.
I can't play golf, I can't surf, I don't have a football team, I'm not good at sports.
Well, if you played golf, you wouldn't have time to do everything else.
No, Brian Greenspan tried to teach me golf. You ought to ask him about it.
About the experience?
Hopeless student, yeah. I couldn't get it at all. I don't have that kind of concentration, or I don't know what it is, but I've never been interested in that kind of competitive sport, if you can call golf a sport, I guess it is, but I've never had that feeling about it.
As a child,
I'm a bit of a solitary guy. I like to be on my own a lot. I'm not a recluse, but I tend to not, and that's a two-hander thing, isn't it? Golf. A lot of business deals,
A lot of business deals, right.
You play golf?
No, but I know Brian plays a lot of golf.
He does, he plays golf.
Yes. Thank you so much, Tony Hopkins.
Thank you very much.